Welcome everybody, I'm Eric Harrison and we're smack dab in the middle of this Friday the 13th franchise review. So far we've talked about 4 solid slashers. Now we gotta talk about the black sheep of the franchise, so here we go I guess. Friday the 13th, Part 5, A New Beginning from 1985.
The mindless, murderous fury that was buried with Jason has been reborn. Friday the 13th, Part 5, A New Beginning. Rated R.
Starts Friday at the Lyons Avenue and East Sprague Cinemas.
Friday the 13th, A New Beginning from 1985 was directed by Danny Steinmann, whose first movie he ever made was a porn called High Rise in like the mid-70s, which explains the sleazy vibe that I get off of this movie. Here's the deal, I just don't care. I'm going to spoil the retarded ass twist ending to this movie. If you don't want to know because you've never seen it and you want to be surprised, then don't watch my review. Otherwise, I just don't give a shit. So, the plot of Friday 5 is that there once was a production company called Paramount who kind of hit the jackpot with a movie called Friday the 13th. And then they started just pumping out one after the other, realizing that they could make them cheap but turn over a huge profit. Unfortunately, all the critics were calling them out on it, saying, you know, you're just making gore porn. This is reprehensible. This is wrong. These movies are bad for society. So, you know, Paramount felt fucking ashamed that they are making these Friday the 13th movies and making a hell of a lot of money off of them. And they thought, well, we need to just end this once and for all. How many sequels can you make after all, right? So they made, you know, the final chapter, and they were ending the series finally. But wait, what? It made like $1 kajillion? Well, we probably maybe could squeeze a few more out of this. We can make a few more Fridays. It's alright. Now that's just me being an asshole, but the real plot is that little Tommy Jarvis, who was looking a little bit crazy at the end of Part 4, we kind of get the impression maybe he's going to turn psycho, and maybe he'll pick up the machete. So flash forward like 6 or 7 years, he's now, I don't know, he looks like he's like 25. I don't know how old he really is. He's supposed to be like 19 or something. Anyway, apparently he's really deranged from what happened to him between him and Jason, you know, all those years earlier. Apparently he just keeps getting shuffled around from one mental home to another until he winds up at this place called Pinehurst, which is, I don't really know what it is, a boarding school, it's some kind of orphanage, or it's a mental home, I don't really know. It's just some fucking place. Throughout the whole movie, it's kind of played off like Tommy's crazy and he's probably the killer. In the end, here's, you know, your big fucking spoiler, it was just some random ass dude that was always kind of in the background, named Roy. He was a paramedic. Apparently his kid got killed at this Pinehurst by some psycho with a fucking axe. Now, a few things. First of all, he's really that upset that his kid got killed when he doesn't, he's never told him, I'm your dad. He doesn't take care of him. He didn't raise him, apparently. The kid probably doesn't know who his dad was. He really gives a shit so much that he's going to kill everybody. And here's the other thing. Then Roy, the paramedic, after witnessing the death of his son, kills everybody but the guy that actually killed his son. Makes sense of that. So there you go. There's your big fucking infamous twist ending to this movie that tried really, really hard to imitate a Friday the 13th, but just doesn't do it for me. Now, this is the black sheep of the Friday the 13th series, much like Halloween 3 was the black sheep of the Halloween series. But I like Halloween 3, and you know why? Because they actually did something different. It's a different fucking story. They took it in another direction. They didn't have some guy walking around pretending to be Michael Myers the whole time, and then at the end you find out it's Roy the paramedic. Can you imagine how fucking even more pissed off people would be at Halloween 3 if that's what happened? But anyway, so yeah, I give Halloween 3 a pass, because at least they were trying to do their own thing. This movie it doesn't just have a copycat killer, the whole movie is a copycat. It's trying to be something it's not. It has developed a cult following, and you know, the initial reaction when it came out was everybody was like, boo, this shit sucks. Since then, a lot of people come out and said, you know what, I like it. They defend it. That's cool. That's fine. If you like it, good for you. The truth of the matter is, I actually really tried to like this movie. And there's maybe 1 or 2 scenes I can dig. But, so anyway, I told you, I promised in the last review that we would talk more about Tommy as the killer. Now, like I said, they make it appear to be like maybe Tommy is the killer. They show him early on, he's got a knife and he's looking at it all crazy. He flips out on people and he kicks ass all the time. He sees Jason, you know, like visions or hallucinations of Jason all the time. We're definitely led to believe it's probably Tommy, which I think would have been the way to go. In the end, he does wind up putting on the, you know, the mask and he's got a knife, so maybe it took the whole fucking movie, like, till the last minute. He finally turns into Jason. But they didn't go with that throughout the movie. They wanted to recreate the first Friday the 13th in a lot of ways. One point being, they do a lot of the hand. I call this the killer hand movie, because all you always see just like a hand with a knife go up. Hands, just hands killing people, but you never see any other part of the body. You don't see Jason, or even just the fake Jason with the mask. You don't see him until like almost the last 20 minutes of the movie. It's just always hands killing, which was very much like the original, because it was meant to be a surprise, a twist ending, a whodunit, and then when you find out who did it at the end, it blew audiences away. So they tried to do the same thing here, and like I said, they had the hand shots killing peeps, and then they had what they thought was a twist ending that was as good as the, you know, one from the original Friday. Turns out it's just not. Now, what this results in is a mess of a movie. Had they just stuck with Tommy was the killer, they wouldn't have had to try and pull any twist ending, first of all. We could have had more than just a killer hand. We could have actually seen Tommy, whether he was wearing the mask or not. I didn't even give a crap. If he was just going around killing people because he's crazy, thinking, you know, Jason possessed him or something, the movie would have been a lot smoother. Instead, what you get is lingering shots on this random paramedic that kind of looks disturbed, are just really silly scenes like this one.
What the hell's going on here?
You talking to me, Sheriff?
Huh?
Oh, I thought you was talking to me.
No, Roy, it's okay. Go ahead. Get them out of here.
Like, that. Okay, it makes me laugh. It's funny. You talking? I thought you were talking to me. And then he just goes on his way. It's like, what? What the fuck was that? That seems like to be the most pointless thing I've ever seen in a movie. Of course, there's supposed to be a point because Roy is the killer, we find out. But when you don't know that, and you just watch a scene where he's just like, oh, I thought you were talking to me. You weren't talking to me? Okay. Walks away. It's like, that's the most pointless thing I've ever seen captured on film. It's funny, though. So anyway, that is my complaint. Yeah, I just don't feel like it's trying so hard to be a Friday the 13th movie. It just doesn't feel like one to me. Is there some positives I can say about the movie? Sure. For instance, there's a shitload of kills. There's like something around 18 to 20 kills, depending on if you count the 2 peeps at the beginning in the dream sequence, which I don't. So I'm going to call it 18 kills, but that's pretty big. Like, that's a big number, and like, people just show up to die. Like these 2 greasers, they show up, they die. Like this guy snorting coke and his girlfriend, they show up, they die. Yeah, I don't know. But anyway. Oh yeah, and speaking of kills, this is something I noticed. Every time somebody gets killed in this movie, the fucking camera does this fucking zoom. Whew, just zoom in on somebody's face, like everybody's face, doesn't matter. Just zoom, zoom, zoom. It's crazy. I don't know what that's all about. And then another positive that I can say is, number 4, the final chapter, began a tradition of badass music in the Friday the 13th. And in number 5, A New Beginning, we get His Eyes by Pseudo Echo as, what the fuck is her name? Violet is dancing around doing the robot and shit, dancing to Pseudo Echo. I love it, and I have to fight the urge. Fight it. Don't dance, Eric. Fight the... Okay, look, I'm fighting it. I'm not going to dance. Let's just watch Violet dance for a little while.
looked so hard, I've never seen him smile. I could have told you then you heard it all before.
Hey, guys, welcome back. I wasn't dancing. So, all in all, I actually really did try and like this movie. It just doesn't work for me. It's not really a terrible made movie. It's just, it doesn't feel right. I don't know how else to explain it. I definitely am interested in hearing what you guys have to say about it. So leave some comments below. What did you think of Friday 5? Do you think they succeeded with their little twist ending or not? As for me, I'll give it 2 out of 5 stars. Meh. I can't just read. I have to look in the camera and interact with people. I can't just read off my little fucking cheats here. I got some cheat notes here. Cheating. Because I can't remember some of this bullshit. Alright. I need another one. I'll be right back. Fucking ingenious.